Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about our May TBR, and that specifically is going to be books for Escape the Readathon. I absolutely love participating in Escape the Readathon. It is just so much fun. It's a competitive readathon that I actually really enjoy because the prompts change up. You're not stuck with the same prompts throughout the entire time. So we're gonna, as best as we can, talk about what books that I want to read for the current prompts available. So if you guys don't know what Escape the Readathon is, definitely go check out Books with Lexi's channel. It is a readathon that runs all of May. You pick a team, you join that team, and you read prompts for that team, and obviously you try to escape first. It is a whole lot of fun. I participated last year, and I am joining the scientist team, which has some awesome hosts. That's definitely why I chose them. Sarah from Wicked Reading is amazing. She is fantastic. I love her videos. She is my go-to horror girly. We also have Books and Heather, who I definitely trust with my romance recommendations, and I just love her chill style, comfy vlogs. And then we also have Deja from Deja's Book World, and she's just super chill as well. Like, I feel like we got the really chill group of people, which I think is gonna make it a lot of fun. Like, I love a competitive readathon, but I'm not overly competitive in these things. Like, I just like to participate and talk to other people who are participating. But I think it's gonna be just like a really nice, relaxing time this month instead of anything really stressful. So if you want to join a really fun team, I would join the scientists. I will be in there. Probably not too much. I do get a little bit overwhelmed with Discord chats, but I will be in there every once in a while. And I think, like I said, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And you can sign up anytime throughout the month if you're seeing this a little bit late. So anyway, that being said, let's talk about the actual prompts that are available, because there are prompts once you get into rooms, but we don't know them yet. That's what makes it so fun, is you can come up with the TBR, but like only so much. There is like a little bit surprise type of thing, which I love. So let's talk about the room prompts. Now there are four rooms that I did not come up with books for because they are more random or kind of in the moment things. So for the research facilities, it is borrowed books. Obviously that's going to be as kind of it happened, so I didn't have anything really for that. Then we have Cafe Novo, which is a different genre than your last book. Obviously, like, you can't tell like what I'm currently reading, so I don't know. That'll be a random one. Then we have the Greenhouse, which is randomize your read, so obviously can't do that right now. And then another one was Winston's Lounge, which is read a book you found on BookTube. That will also be more of a spur of the moment thing. That's as I watch BookTube, because I watch a lot of BookTube. That will be books that I see as I watch videos. All right, now let's get into the actual prompts that I found things for. Most of these, I tried to get physical books on my TBR. I'm also trying to use as many new books as I possibly can because having problems. I've bought too many books. I said I wasn't going to buy any books, I think in April, and it turned out to be my worst buying month. Like, actually my worst buying month. And it's not going to end because the independent indie bookstore day is literally in 3 days. So it's bad. It's bad, guys, because I want to get something from like each store. Ah, man. So the first room prompt is for Command Center, and it is read a book with one of your top 3 favorite tropes. And this one was funny because I feel like depending on who you ask, tropes are different. So like when you think of tropes, you think of the generic enemies to lovers, one bed, friends to lovers, chosen one. So those are kind of like the generic prompts, but you can get really specific with them. And something that I really love in books is a reality star kind of setting that's happening. So anything that's taking place relating to a reality show is like my favorite thing ever. And I guess that kind of fits more into setting, but I'm kind of going to skew it a little bit in my favor. Obviously, this could change later. Anything I put on here may not actually be what I end up reading. I did already choose my next prompt for Shop My Shelves, and spoiler alert, it is favorite trope, and I did pick that for it, so I am counting that as a trope because it is like a theme that is happening in these books. So for each one of these prompts, I have picked 3 books. So the 3 books that I have already picked out for that video that I do plan to read in May are The Escape Game by Marissa Meyer. This is actually her brand new book, and I think she's like a duo author with somebody on this book, but it even says this is a competition to die for, and I believe it is a televised show, season 4 of The Escape Game, ended in horror when contestant Alicia Angelos was found murdered on set. So I just already love that. I already love, well, obviously not murder, but I love the idea of a murder happening on a TV show, on a set, and then you kind of have to solve it. And what makes this book really, really cool is it actually is interactive. So you are trying to solve the mysteries and the puzzles as you're going along in this book. So I think that's so fun. We also have a book that I just got, and that is Love Galaxy. This was an Aardvark pick. And again, this is a romantic reality show. So think Bachelor, but in space. Our main character finds herself with a golden ticket she never expected, the opportunity to be cast on an interstellar dating show starring the brother and sister heirs to the galactic empire. Dating shows, I love it. I love it so much. Which brings me to the last choice, which is most eligible. And again, this is another dating show one. It says she's not there for love. She's undercover. He's unforgettable. Is this for real? So yeah, I know it's like skirting the whole trope thing a little bit, but I'm just being a little more specific than just picking a bunch of stuff that's enemies to lovers, because that is my favorite trope. So I am going to count these. We'll see if I count them later in May when I'm actually like having to read for this prompt, because you never know, I could change my mind. But no matter what, I am reading those because I am doing that vlog for Shop My Shelves episode 3. Next up, we have Tech Center, and that is read a book blurb by an author you've loved before. So this one is a little bit tough, but then I saw that you could use like this website where it's not necessarily on the book, on the hardcover or on the paperback, but it is like blurb by this author somewhere. So I was able to use that, which was incredibly helpful. And so we do have 3 options for that as well. So first up, we have a book that I'm not like the most excited to read, but it was blurb by Allie Hazelwood. And I have been asked multiple times, I said this in a vlog already, I've been asked multiple times to read this book just because it would hit the trifecta of reading all these books and reviewing them to let people know if they're actually based on that, the IP that I don't really want to talk about. It is Rose in Chains. So I've had so many people say that this was their favorite of the 3 of Alchemized, Irresistible Urge, and this one was the one that works the best and feels the most separated from the original IP. And so I feel, because I tried the other 2, I do have to try this one, and you guys have been asking me to do this. So this was blurred by Allie Hazelwood, who is definitely one of my favorite authors, so this is a really good option. Next up, we have The Everlasting, which was blurred by Cassandra Khaw. Cassandra Khaw easily is my favorite horror author. I love their books, I love their writing style, and it's just, they're so emotionally impactful in their books and what they do with horror. I'm obsessed, like absolutely obsessed. So this one is blurred by them. And then I was so excited to see this, The Whispering Night. This is the final book in the Luminary series, and I've loved this series so far. I just keep putting this one off. I think I like finished the first 2 books and then I didn't have my hands on this one yet. So obviously then I kind of set it aside and then I totally forgot about it. But this one supposedly is blurred by Leigh Bardugo. So that, yes. Yes. And this one even says it's also Alexandra Bracken, who I actually have really enjoyed their books. The Forest Calls and you will love every second of its devouring mysteries. The Forest Calls and you will love every second of devouring its mysteries. So I do love Alexandra Bracken. So this is also a fantastic option. So next up we have Medbay, and that is read a book with an isolated setting. This one was kind of fun to find something for, but obviously first up we have The Martian. I don't actually have a physical copy of this, but I do have the audiobook, and that is the way I would consume this book and Project Hail Mary, which you will see Project Hail Mary later on this list. The Martian I feel like is classic isolated setting, and I don't think you could get more isolated than what this book is. So I'm really excited. It's been one that I've wanted to read for a really long time, and everybody wants me to read this one as well as Project Hail Mary, but like I said, that's in a different prompt, although that one would also work here. I also added The Last Word by Taylor Adams because this is taking place in like an isolated cabin situation, and our main character is under attack by somebody, and there's obviously no one around that can help them. So again, perfect isolated setting, but completely different than The Martian. Then another very isolated setting, we have The Last Murder at the End of the World. And this is one that I've been wanting to get to a while, but I keep putting it off. So I think this is perfect for this prompt because we have an isolated island setting. So it's like every single one that I picked for this, it's very different. So I think we've got a nice range here of different types of isolated settings. Next up, we have the Damage Control Center, which is read a book with a setting you haven't been to. And I thought I'd be a little fun with this one. I thought this one could be a little bit fun, a little bit different, because she said it's like you could also use fantasy places, etc., that you haven't been to, but I was a little like sneakier than that, and you know, that could always bite me in the butt. But first off, we have Project Hail Mary, because you know, haven't been to space, like really haven't been to space, and don't really ever plan to, nor do I want to go to space. I am one of those people who never wanted to be an astronaut. I like my feet on the ground. So I think this is so fun to actually choose for a setting I haven't been to yet and very different than my other ones. I liked to have a lot of variety. That's kind of what I was trying to do when I was picking these books. So Project Hail Mary happens in space, definitely haven't been to space. I feel like I was a little bit sneaky with this one. We have A Time Traveler's History of Tomorrow. And this takes place, number one, I haven't been to Chicago. So there's that. Haven't been to Chicago, but to be even sneakier, it's happening in, I think, 1934. So I haven't been in 1934 and I haven't been in Chicago in 1934. So it's taking place at the 1934 Chicago World's Fair. And I feel like it hits it multiple times. Like I haven't been to the World's Fair, haven't been to Chicago, haven't been in 1934. So I feel like that all works. That's 3 different settings that I haven't been to before. So this is a brand new book that I just got, so it would be nice to read this. And then a book that I will be reading soon. I don't want to get behind in this series. I am caught up in this series. I am on the current book. I don't want to get behind, and I'm really excited. The audiobook was so good for the last book, so I do plan to listen to this one. I will fit this in some category, even if I can't fit it into this one. But we have Throne of Nightmares, and I have not been to the underworld, and this one takes place in the underworld in the 7 layers of hell, whatever. I guess it's really not 7 layers of hell, how they have it done. 7 like kingdoms of hell, but it is taking place in the underworld. Haven't been to the underworld, and I'm very, very excited to read this one. And I think this one is actually following House Sloth, which I wasn't expecting. I kind of like keep spoilers like away from myself before reading these books. So basically when this came out is when I figured out who the house was. So wasn't expecting House Sloth, so it should be interesting. Next up, we have Engine Room, which is read an anti-rec. So I was on chat with a couple of my friends the other day, and we were going through these prompts to try and figure out recommendations, anti-recs. So I got some pretty cool anti-recs. So we actually have, and I actually only own one of them so far, but we have The Watchers. My friend really did not enjoy this one. It's funny because I watched the movie and I actually love the movie, so I was very much interested in reading the book. So I thought that was a perfect anti-rec since it's something I'm already interested in, and I do have the Kindle version of it. And then the next one is Drop of Corruption, which I know is funny, but you will see the first book on this list somewhere else. So A Drop of Corruption was an anti-rec by my friend because she hated this one. She also gave me a rec though for the first book. So when we get to another thing where it's a book friend loves, it is the same friend who recommended The Tainted Cup as a book they love, and they hated A Drop of Corruption, but I'm still very interested in that series. And if I love the first one, I'm going to read the second one. So I am very curious, like, does it actually go downhill? Will I think it's not as good as the first one if I even like the first one? So anti-rec, A Drop of Corruption. And my other friend really, really, really did not like Arch Conspirator, which is really sad because I really wanted to read this. I'm a big Veronica Roth fan. I was very, very excited about this book. So I will be getting to this one. It is very short as well, which is really nice. She hated this. So I was like, I own that. And she goes, there you go. There's my anti-rec. Next up, we have a very easy one. I loved this prompt. I love this prompt, but I was surprised how many books I had where the author name was actually above the title, and I was very disappointed at some of them. But it is Living Quarters. Read a book with the author name below the title on the cover. So the first one that we have is The Place Where They Buried Your Heart by Christina Henry. This is actually a book that I'm buddy reading with some of my friends in May. So I will be getting to this one, and Christina Henry's name is below the title on this one, so it fits. We also have the third book in the Buried in the Bound series, A Spell for Unraveling. My little thing is very small that I'm looking at. The Spell for Unraveling. This is going to finish up the Buried in the Bound series, and I really enjoyed this one, and obviously the title is above the author's name. And then our last one, you know for sure, I was trying to fit this one in here. So we have Beneath, obviously, author's name is below the title. I want to read this, but I'm also really nervous to read this because of how much I liked Conform. So I have some high expectations for this one, even though it's not going to be following like the same characters. So that's why I'm a little bit nervous about it. But this one fits this prompt. It also probably fits some other ones as well. Next up, we have Sleeping Lodge, and this one is the Read a Book a Friend Loves. And I had a lot of recommendations for this one, but I did mark it down to a couple. So obviously the first one is the one I just talked about, The Tainted Cup. This is one that I feel like I've put on so many different TBRs and still haven't read it, even though it's something I should love. So I gotta get to this in May. We also have Hollowpox. And now if I do end up reading Hollowpox, because there is a chance of that, if I do end up reading Hollowpox in April, I will switch to Silverborn because they love the whole series. So it's any book in the series. So I am on the 3rd one currently. I don't think I'm going to get to it. I have so many other things that I need to read that I don't think I'll be getting to this one. So it will probably be Hollowpox, but I could also read Silverborn, so I could do both if we're on this prompt. It's funny, all 3 recs were by the same person because we have very similar taste in books, so it was very easy to get that. And then when it came to the anti-recs, 2 of them were from a different person because we have a lot of not similar reading tastes. And I was trying to pick books that they didn't like and I would love, so that made it a little bit easier. Anyway, so They Wish They Were Us. I've had this book for a really long time. So Alyssa and I both love young adult thriller mysteries, like even if they're like trashy and stuff, we just have like a lot of fun with them. So she said this one's really, really good. I've liked a Jessica Goodman before, so this feels like a safe pick that is going to be really short and really fun. Next up is Facility Management, and it is Read an Underhyped book. I love reading an underhyped book. I'm always trying to get people to read certain books. So I do have a couple that are very much underhyped that I would like to read here, and especially one is a little bit older, so I need to get to it. So first up, we have one that I'm like super excited to read, and I don't know why I haven't read it yet, but it is The Happiness Collector. Nobody's heard of this book. I've brought it up multiple times, and people are always like, what book are you talking about? But this sounds so much fun. No one's heard about it. Doesn't have the best ratings either. So I feel like it works on both fronts for underhyped. So our next one is actually both of these next ones are older books, but we have Beguiled. I think this came in like an earlier Owl Crate before they were doing like a bunch of extra stuff. I can't remember if this is Owl Crate or like a Beacon box or something like that. But this was a book that I got a long time ago in a book box. It could be unplugged as well. Somebody did Beguiled, and that is why I have it. It sounds fun. I love the cover. I don't know why I haven't read it yet, but I do know it doesn't have great ratings. Nobody's read it. It works really well for this prompt. And then the final one that I have, I keep putting it off because I love the first book, and this one does like a little bit of a character and scene change, so I wasn't sure about it, but it is Mindbreaker. I have it literally right over there. I just don't want to get up and get it. But it is the second book in the Mindwalker series. I loved Mindwalker. It is a sci-fi book. Mindwalker was so good. Like, it was so good. So Mindbreaker, like a bunch of people got Mindwalker from Goldsboro. Got it from a subscription, and a decent number of people read it, but then they didn't do the second book, and it was only released in the UK for like the longest time. I had to buy a UK copy. I still don't know if it's released in the US, but I ended up getting a UK copy. I have it there. I really need to read it. It's not very long, and it should be a lot of fun. Next up, we have The Gym, and it is Read an Author's latest release. So there are 2 on here that are coming out in May that I added on here. So the first one did not come out in May, but it has come out recently, and that is The Verdant Cage. I've even picked out my little bookmark. It matches so nicely. Like, look how cute it is. So this one just came out. Alyssa just read this one and said she doesn't know how she feels about it. So she was like, I need you to read this to tell me if you like the ending of it. And I was like, I can do that. I can do that. So I do need to read The Verdant Cage, and I feel like this is a good one. Brand new release. And again, I'm trying to read my new releases. And then my next 2 are going to be Furybound when it comes out, and then Broken Dove. So 2 very highly anticipated sequels that are going to be their latest releases. And then our very last room is Escape Pod, and the prompt is read a book with a cover that matches any host thumbnail. So I do plan to get more for this prompt because I think that is really fun. I watch all these hosts anyway. I really like these readathons because it is a really good way for me to find new booktubers. Like I've said before, I read a lot of booktube, so I always like finding new people. So all 3 that I got for this prompt are from Lexi's channel because Lexi is really, really good about putting books like on her thumbnails, like very easy. And I did watch them as well to see what she thought about them, but I ended up picking quite a few really good ones. So I do think these are all from Lexi. I'm pretty sure. So first up, we have Best Offer Wins. This is one I've been trying to put on my TBR for a while as well. I'm kind of trying to pick a lot of like mystery thrillers and horror books because they're just very fast to get through. So I think this is a good option. And again, it is a book that I got in 2026, as well as This Story Might Save Your Life. Again, mystery contemporary kind of, but also a book I got in 2026, so I really want to read it. And then surprise, Mocha. We have this one. This also came out in 2026, although is this one even out yet? I think it's out early from Book of the Month. I think by the time you see this, this will be out. But Mocha sounds so good. It sounds so good. Saw this on their thumbnail. I think this is going to be such a fun book. So like I said, a lot of horror, and I think horror fits the theme of this, so I probably will try to fit more horror in. I just wanted to match these prompts as specific as possible with some newer books that I had and a couple of older books as well. So that is everything that I have planned for the TBR. Obviously, there are other things that I want to read. I'll be working still on my Allurial Purge if I haven't finished it by May. I'm also working on my next Fairy Loot Purge, which is obviously taking longer than usual because of course it is. And then I'm also working on other little projects that I have going on. So anyway, definitely let me know if you're going to participate. Like I said, I will be joining the scientists if you want to join, but also it's totally cool if you want to join another team and we can face off against each other. That's totally fine. Definitely let me know what prompts that you want to follow or just what your TBR is in general. If you're not participating in Escape the Readathon, if you made it this far in the video, leave a sciencey emoji. I think there's like a test tube. I think there's people with like little beakers. So leave anything sciencey because that is the vibe, or anything space even because it is a space station. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe to miss any future content. Make sure you join my membership if you are interested in that. I will have extra content obviously every single month on there. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a comment and I'll see you guys in the next one.